Hello and welcome and namaste from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live. I am Gautam Roy. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi unveiled space startup Skyroot and India's first private rocket Vikram 1, capable of placing satellites into lower Earth orbit. Firefighters battle on beyond 24 hours as 55 people are killed and hundreds still remain missing in Hong Kong's apartment complex blaze. And former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan's party demands meeting him in jail amid health worries. First up, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the Indian space startup Skyroot's Infinity campus in Hyderabad through a video link on Thursday. The PM also unveiled Skyroot's first orbital rocket, Vikram 1, with the capability to launch satellites into orbit. The state-of-the-art facility will have around 200,000 square feet of workspace for designing, developing, integrating and testing multiple launch vehicles with the capacity to build one orbital rocket every month. Here's more in this report.
3, 2, 1, 0.
A major boost for India's private space ambitions. Hyderabad-based Skyroot Aerospace today opened its Infinity campus, a facility dedicated to building and testing multiple launch vehicles under one roof. Inaugurated virtually by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the campus spans almost 2 lakh square feet and aims to manufacture one orbital rocket every month. At the heart of today's event was the unveiling of Vikram 1, Skyroot's first orbital class rocket capable of placing satellites into low Earth orbit. The company says the new facility will significantly speed up production timelines for the Vikram series. Skyroot, founded by former ISRO scientists Pawan Chandana and Bharat Dhaka, has been at the forefront of India's private space growth. In 2022, it became the first Indian private company to launch a rocket, Vikram S, into space. Addressing the event, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said the rise of private space companies reflect the success of recent reforms in the sector.
सरकार ने स्पेस सेक्टर को प्राइवेट इनोवेशन के लिए ओपन किया। नई स्पेस पॉलिसी तैयार की गई। हमने स्टार्टअप्स को, इंडस्ट्री को इनोवेशन के साथ जोड़ने का प्रयास किया। हमने इन स्पेस की स्थापना की, अपने स्टार्टअप्स के लिए इसरो की फैसिलिटीज और टेक्नोलॉजी को उपलब्ध कराया। यानी भारत ने बीते 6-7 वर्षों में ही अपने स्पेस सेक्टर को एक ओपन, कोऑपरेटिव और इनोवेशन ड्रिवन इकोसिस्टम में बदल दिया है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi also praised the contributions of India's Gen Z in taking the nation to new heights.
फिनटेक हो, एग्रीटेक हो, हेल्थ टेक हो, क्लाइमेट टेक हो, एजुटेक हो, डिफेंस टेक हो, हर क्षेत्र में भारत के युवा, हमारे जैन जी नए समाधान दे रहे हैं।
With the Infinity campus now operational, Skyroot will accelerate work on commercial satellite launches using the Vikram series. The company says the new integrated facility housing manufacturing, assembly and testing will boost efficiency and reduce turnaround time. India's private space industry has expanded rapidly in recent years, driven by reforms that opened the sector for collaboration and investment. Skyroot's progress is seen as a key step towards building an Atmanirbhar competitive launch ecosystem. From New Delhi, Akshay Dongre, DD India.
And in an exclusive conversation with DD India, Skyroot Aerospace co-founder and CEO Pawan Kumar Chandana expresses gratitude to Prime Minister Narendra Modi for unveiling the company's first orbital rocket, Vikram 1.
We are very proud that Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji himself took time to inaugurate India's largest rocket factory, which you see here. And he has also taken time to unveil India's first commercial rocket, Vikram 1, which you can see here. This is going to create new capability in India towards Honorable Prime Minister's goal to reach 50 launches by 2030. And for that, we created this infrastructure. And very happy, proud that Honorable Prime Minister himself has taken time to do the inauguration and unveil the rocket.
Talking about Skyroot's Infinity campus and their first orbital rocket, Vikram 1, Indian astronaut Shubhanshu Shukla expressed optimism about the growth of Indian private space sector. Listen in.
Today we are at Skyroot's Infinity campus, which was inaugurated by our Honorable Prime Minister today morning. And in the background you can show the Vikram 1 rocket, which you can see going to launch in a few months' time. And I think this is going to be a defining moment for India's space journey, private sector, the first of its class orbital segment launch. And I'm very excited to see that and seeing this transforming how the world views India's private sector in space.
Now, the third India-Indonesia Defence Ministers Dialogue is underway in New Delhi. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh co-chaired the event alongside Indonesia's Defence Minister Shafri Shamsuddin. During the event, the two ministers reviewed the regional security developments. They discussed multilateral issues and explored new areas to deepen bilateral defence cooperation. Speaking at the meeting, Rajnath Singh said that the recent signing of the enhanced agreement on defence cooperation between India and Indonesia strengthened both nations' commitment to augment defence cooperation.
In May 2018, as well as the signing of the enhanced agreement on defence cooperation. By frequent meetings with His Excellency Prabowo Subianto as Defence Minister, further strengthen both our countries' commitment to augment defence cooperation. Through the decades, our defence ties have flourished, built on the foundation of the mutual commitment to regional security. Today's dialogue serves as a testament to the growing strength of our defence cooperation, which is an important pillar of our cooperation. Excellency, during the deliberations today, I look forward to have free and frank exchange of views to further deepen and expand our bilateral defence cooperation.
And speaking at the same event, Indonesia's Defence Minister said that today's dialogue carries forward a strong momentum it built between both the nations since India's Defence Minister's visit to Indonesia in 2018.
Today's dialogue carries forward for the strong momentum we have built together. In 2018, the visit of India Defence Minister to Jakarta revitalized our defence cooperation through the ceremonial signing of the Defence Cooperation Agreement, DCA. We both sides emphasizing the importance of translating discussion into concrete and practical deliverables. In this spirit, I'm confident that our dialogue today will produce concrete outcomes that strengthen trust and advance the strategic partnership between our two defense establishments.
And a guard of honour was presented to Indonesia's Defence Minister at the Sushma Swaraj Bhavan in the national capital ahead of his meeting with Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, reflecting the mutual respect and commitment of both the nations to strengthen their defence cooperation. Further, speaking at the third India-Indonesia Defence Ministers Dialogue in New Delhi, India's Defence Secretary Rajesh Kumar Singh said Prime Minister Narendra Modi emphasises that the government's structures should not operate in silos and advocates a whole-of-nation approach. Collaboration among the armed forces, PSUs, private sector, DRDO, academia and startups is key to achieving Atmanirbharta or self-reliance.
Prime Minister Modi, throughout his every address that he makes to the civil and to the defense forces, always talks about the fact that government structure should not operate in silos, that we should bring about a whole of industry and even a whole of nation approach when it comes to developing and projecting our national power. And this ability of different organizations, including the three services, as well as the PSUs and the private sector, to work in collaboration, along with other stakeholders such as DRDO, academic institutions, and the startup ecosystem, would ultimately be critical in achieving our national goal of Atmanirbharta.
Now, in a boost to community-led adventure tourism in North Sikkim, the Indian Army has provided specialized high-altitude adventure equipment to the local community, enabling villagers to set up structured adventure camps for 2025 daily tourists. The equipment includes camping gear, climbing essentials, safety kits and cooking sets, helping local youth offer guided treks, camping and basic adventure experiences in a safer and more organized manner, encouraging border area tourism. Now, India's economy is estimated to grow at 6.6% in 2025-26, the International Monetary Fund has said, noting that the goods and services tax reforms are likely to help cushion the country from external uncertainties. The IMF said in a statement after its executive board completed an annual assessment of India on Wednesday that the country's ambition to become an advanced economy can be supported by advancing comprehensive structural reforms which enable higher potential growth. On economic growth, the IMF noted that the country is set to maintain momentum. The IMF also added that headline inflation is projected to remain well contained, signaling stable prices in the coming months. The International Monetary Fund also reviewed India's recent performance, pointing to strong quarterly data. The latest update suggests that India will continue to be one of the fastest growing major economies globally, supported by firm domestic demand and controlled inflation. The United States has thanked India's crime investigating agency, Central Bureau of Investigation, for its continued support in busting and dismantling transnational cybercrime networks targeting its citizens. In a message on X, the US Embassy said that the CBI has dismantled an illegal call center targeting US nationals and arrested a key operative in the transnational cybercrime network. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. US President Donald Trump calls shooting of 2 National Guard troops an act of terror. Suspect is identified as an Afghan national. And Russia closes its last Polish consulate in Siberia in a tit-for-tat move.
For the longest time, we treated the Earth's resources as endless. But now the real challenge is to rethink how we use what we already have. Because how we manage the environment's resources will dictate our chances of survival.
He applied finely crushed basalt rock on 2 of his 4 fields and says the difference is clear to see.
It's like a window of opportunity. For every hour we are working with this project.
The pumped groundwater is first filtered. Then it goes into a tank and is filtered again. After that, it is collected in this tank where people can access it.
We have been making handicrafts from banana plants for quite some time now. Currently, we produce around 30 products.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Gautam Roy. Excuse me. Let's get to the latest where a US shooting incident in Washington, D.C. is concerned, where President Donald Trump has called it an act of terror. He also mentioned that the suspect has been identified and believed to have entered into the US territory from Afghanistan in 2021. Trump called for his government to re-examine Afghan immigrants who entered the US during the former President Joe Biden's administration. The suspect, who was wounded in an exchange of gunfire before he was arrested, was identified by the Department of Homeland Security as Rahmanullah Lakanwal, an Afghan national. Following Trump's remarks, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services said late on Wednesday it has stopped processing all immigration requests relating to Afghan nationals indefinitely.
This heinous assault was an act of evil, an act of hatred, and an act of terror. It was a crime against our entire nation. It was a crime against humanity.
Earlier on Wednesday, 2 U.S. National Guard soldiers were shot near the White House in Washington, D.C. The shootings took place at the Farragut West metro station 2 blocks from the White House and in mid-afternoon when the streets and nearby businesses were packed. FBI Director Kash Patel said both the soldiers, part of a militarized anti-crime deployment around the United States ordered by Donald Trump, were in a critical condition. Washington Mayor Muriel Bowser called it a targeted shooting by a single gunman.
Before we get started, on a somber note, we had, and some of you may have seen this on your phones or on social media, but apparently there was a shooting outside the White House just a couple of hours ago. And we're still learning everything. We still don't know the motive. There's a lot that we haven't yet figured out. But what we do know is that a couple of National Guardsmen were injured in the line of duty.
Now, in the wake of Wednesday's shooting, Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth said on Wednesday that President Trump has asked for 500 additional troops to be deployed in Washington, D.C.
President Trump has asked me, and I will ask the Secretary of the Army, to the National Guard, to add 500 additional troops, National Guardsmen, to Washington, D.C. This will only stiffen our resolve to ensure that we make Washington, D.C. safe and beautiful. The drop in crime has been historic. The increase in safety and security has been historic. But if criminals want to conduct things like this, violence against America's best, we will never back down. President Trump will never back down. That's why the American people elected him. America and our warriors, our National Guardsmen, are strong.
Venezuela's aviation authority said on Wednesday that it has banned multiple airlines accused of terrorism after they suspended routes, heeding warnings from the United States about military activity in the region. Civil aviation authorities said that the affected airlines, Spain, Portugal, Colombia, Chile, Brazil and Turkey, will have their operational permits revoked for joining the actions of state terrorism promoted by the United States government and unilaterally suspending air commercial operations. Washington had warned of increased military activity in the Caribbean amid a deployment of target narcotics operations, which Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro insists is intended to overthrow his government. The flight suspension has so far affected more than 8,000 passengers on at least 40 different flights. Ukraine's Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha said on Thursday that US and Ukraine's negotiating teams will meet soon, adding that Kyiv would focus on specific steps in peace proposals. He added that Ukraine expected concrete results which would allow progress to be made towards a ceasefire.
In the nearest future, it should be expected that the negotiation teams will meet. What are we expecting? Our expectation are concrete results so that progress can be made. It is extremely important for us, and Ukraine has demonstrated this repeatedly to achieve a truce.
Now, Russia has called on the Polish ambassador on Thursday, informing him about the decision to close Warsaw's consulate in Siberian city of Irkutsk by the 30th of December this year. Reacting to the news, Polish Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maciej Wiewiór said that Poland accepts Russia's decision to withdraw consent, though there are no solid grounds for the closure. The move is seen as a retaliatory step to Poland's closure of the Russian consulate over accusations of sabotage on a Polish rail line. Refuting the allegations and the accusations, the Russian ministry said that the decision was a blatantly hostile and unjustified move by the Polish leadership. Poland had earlier announced it would revoke permission for Russia's consulate in Gdansk as of the 23rd of December. Japan denied on Thursday a Wall Street Journal report that said that US President Trump has advised Prime Minister Takaichi Sanae not to provoke China over Taiwan's sovereignty. As reported by the Wall Street Journal, the advice followed Xi Jinping's call with Trump, where Taiwan was raised as a key issue. The row between Asia's two biggest economies began after Takaichi said that Tokyo could intervene militarily in any attack on Taiwan by China. Hong Kong leader John Lee said that the government will set up a $300, that is a Hong Kong dollars, million fund to help the affected residents of the fire that engulfed these set of residential towers that you see on the screen. Hong Kong's government also announced that it will provide 1,000 units of youth hostels or hotel rooms for residents to stay for up to 2 weeks. Addressing the media, Hong Kong's fire department mentioned that the fire was extinguished in 4 out of 7 blocks. There are a total of 8 in this complex and was under control in the rest of the 3. As firefighting teams continue to battle the blaze in Hong Kong's Wang Fuk Court housing complex in Tai Po. The deadly blaze that started on Wednesday has claimed nearly 55 lives so far, and around 300 people are reportedly still missing in the burning buildings. The Party of Pakistan's jailed former Prime Minister Imran Khan has demanded a meeting with him on Thursday, saying it is worried about his health as he's been barred from seeing his family and lawyers for over 3 weeks. Imran Khan's family and party members have protested outside the jail in the garrison city of Rawalpindi in recent days, demanding a meeting. Reports citing an unnamed jail official said the former premier was in good health and there are no plans to move him to any other facility. Imran Khan has been in jail since August 2023, serving a 14-year sentence on corruption charges, one of dozens of cases he says were made up to keep him out of politics by the army. Guinea-Bissau's military has appointed a general as the country's new leader on Thursday for a year, a day after seizing power and arresting the president of the coup-prone West African nation. West African Regional Bloc ECOWAS on Thursday condemned the military takeover in Guinea-Bissau and called for the immediate release of President Umaro Sissoco Embalo and other arrested officials. The bloc's statement has called it a grave violation of Guinea-Bissau's constitutional order and warned it threatens regional stability. Let's now take a look at some other stories making news around the world as well. A Russian Soyuz MS-28 spacecraft took off for the International Space Station or ISS on Thursday with 2 Russian cosmonauts and 1 NASA astronaut on board. Once docked, the crew will enter the ISS where they are due to spend the next 8 months. Heavy traffic was seen on the Interstate 405 highway, one of the busiest routes in Los Angeles, as Thanksgiving holiday kicked in. Drone visuals showed cars lined up on the route on a typically busy travel day. This year's Thanksgiving holidays arrived a little earlier, prompting travelers to choose driving instead of flying. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has congratulated Indian athletes for their historic performance at the Deaf Olympics in Tokyo. The PM posted on X, and I quote, "Heartiest congratulations to our Deaf Olympians for their extraordinary performance at the 25th Summer Deaf Olympics 2025 in Tokyo. With a historic best ever medal tally of 20 medals, including 9 golds, our athletes have once again proven that determination and dedication can lead to outstanding results. Compliments to every athlete, coach and support staff. The entire nation is proud of you all." End quote. A torch relay for the 2026 Winter Games has begun in Greece's ancient city of Olympia. The traditional outdoor ceremony, normally held at the stadium where the Games were born in ancient Greece, was cancelled in advance due to weather warnings. After a week-long route through Greece, the flame will be handed over to Italian organizers on the 4th of December. The torch will pass through 60 Italian cities, 300 towns and over 10,000 torch bearers before reaching Cortina d'Ampezzo on the 26th of January. The journey will conclude in Milan, with the flame entering the San Siro Stadium on the 6th of February for the Games' opening ceremony. Now, as Strasbourg lights up its 30-meter Christmas tree, the city welcomes the holiday season with warmth and tradition. More than 300 stores line up to market gifts and festive cheer to millions of visitors from around the world. Tourists scored the best in the world, and with record crowds last year, Strasbourg's famed market remains a symbol of joy. Strasbourg, of course, is in Austria, the country of origin of, well, Hollywood star and former Governor of California, Arnold Schwarzenegger as well. That's all we have for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India's mobile app. It's available on both Android and iOS. Just scan the QR code, download the app. It's as simple as that. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Gautam Roy, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.